Manchester United were beaten 3-2 by Galatasaray in the Champions League tonight. Not a good feeling right now. I don't know what to say even. There's lots to say, but you know, I don't know how many games we've lost in a row now. I think they're saying in 7 games we have lost 5 or something like that. We've lost the first 2 games of the Champions League. Apparently, we're like for the first time in a long time. Don't think it's ever, but it could be ever if we've lost our first 2 home games in the Champions League. And yeah, it's just not a good energy about Manchester United right now. It's hard because watching that game tonight, there was lots of positives to pick up on, and you know, the main positive being Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund is an amazing striker. He actually scored 3 tonight, but one was disallowed. It was offside, definitely, but he had 2 goals that were counted, and I'm still in absolute devastation. So I'll walk you through the story of the match. So basically, we kicked off. The lineup was Onana in nets. A lot of people thought that the Turkish keeper we signed, Altay Ballantyre, we signed him from Fenerbahce, and a lot of people thought he was going to start because he's Turkish and knows the Galatasaray league. He's played against them lots, and it would have been a good opportunity for him to start. But some people were saying they would have preferred Onana to start. So I guess 50-50, but Onana gets the nod. And similar back 4 from the week before, we had Amrabat out left, Diego Dalot out right, and we had 2 centre backs of Rafael Varane and Victor Lindelof. So relatively strong. Victor Lindelof hasn't been playing as good lately, but Amrabat's been impressing. Dalot is playing the same in Champions League France. Champions League France, you don't drop him for a Champions League game. And then we had an interesting midfield where it was Bruno, Mount and Medjugorje as a sort of midfield 3, and then we had Rasmus Højlund up front with Rashford and Bruno at the Mount, Bruno and Medjugorje were sort of swapping places a bit, but Medjugorje was sort of starting at right, but he was swapping a good bit with Bruno. So it was a good attacking team. First half, you know, there was lots of chances. Should have been a good few goals. Like Rasmus Højlund, again, his ability to stand up on the ball and turn his back on the other players, take the ball back into them, and then control the football is amazing to watch for a player of that age. You know, he's amazing. His speed is amazing, and his strength and shooting and scoring ability is 10 out of 10. He early on he almost set up Bruno, where he got the ball in the middle and then sort of ran it out to the left towards Mount, and then Mount crossed it in, and Bruno unfortunately missed it. But there was a few different exchanges like that. Like Mount should have scored a few goals. Mount played amazing. He was a brilliant player. Mount showing signs that, again, that is really good. Like, I think if you look at the positives from the match are that the signings that we have, other than Onana really, are very promising looking. Like Amrabat in the first half was all over the pitch, left, right, middle, centre, all over the pitch, up and down. Mason Mount has been playing a blinder. His energy is contagious. He's really positive on the ball. He's just whenever he's on the ball, you feel something's going to happen, and that's the same as Rasmus Højlund. Whenever he's on the ball, you feel like something's going to happen. He's making runs. So the signings that Ten Hag did make, other than Onana, have been 10 out of 10. I think Onana let us down tonight, and I'll talk more about it later. But the first half, we score the first goal. It's 1-0 to United. I can't even remember if we scored the first goal or not actually, but we go into the first half 1-1, and I think we do score the first goal because we score a goal and then literally within 5 minutes Saha scores, and it's the same thing again where we score a goal and then literally within 5 minutes they've scored, and we seem to keep doing this where we can't hold on to a win. We can't hold on. We play really well. We get a goal, and then we just seem to let them score straight away. Which is just something wrong. I'm not sure what that is, but there's something wrong. So anyway, we go into the second half, and interesting substitution. Medjbri comes off. Hannibal Medjbri comes off, who I thought played quite well in the first half, and he swapped for Eriksen, and it ends up being a very good sub, figuratively speaking, because Eriksen plays amazing in the second half. The balls he's directing the play all over the pitch. He's doing amazing football. Eriksen was, I think that's one thing about Eriksen, like he doesn't necessarily have the legs anymore to play a full game, but whenever he comes on in that second half, like he is, in terms of dictating play and actually getting balls in the right position and like picking people out, he seems to be doing a really good job doing that. And he does the job so well that we end up pushing for a goal, and Garnacho's about to come on, and everyone's wondering, who's Garnacho going to come on for? Is it going to be Mount, who's playing really well? Is it going to be Rashford, who's, I probably should have scored a few, maybe should have been setting up, but the assist that he made in the first half on Rasmus Højlund's goal was amazing. Just to talk about that again, like the assist was, he just picked him out. He was actually Rashford was on the right, pings it into Hoyland, and boom, off his head into the goal. It's a picture perfect goal. Yeah, Rasmus Højlund didn't even have to do anything. Rashford put it on his head so good, just bang back in the net. 10 out of 10 performance from that. But when it's coming up to that around the 70th minute, it's like it's one each, and we're like, who's going to come on for Garnacho, or who's Garnacho going to come on for? And we actually score. We score again. Rasmus Højlund gets the goal, and it's an amazing goal again. He's got brilliant footwork, and he scores a class goal. And then at that moment, or after the goal goes through, Marcus Rashford actually comes off, and a lot of people have been giving Marcus Rashford grief. A lot of people have been saying they shouldn't have been started, but personally, thinking back, I know it's easy in hindsight as well, I would have left Rashford on, and not, after we scored that first goal, not changed it up, just actually gone, right, referee, maybe I'm not going to be a sub anymore. But maybe that's not just how Ten Hag does it. He has something in his head and then he wants to do it. So Rashford ends up coming off, Garnacho comes on, and literally again, similar to the first goal, we go back to being 2-2, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is happening here? Why can't we hold on to a win for more than 5 minutes? Why can't we do this? And to make matters worse, within the next 5 or 10 minutes, the ball gets played back to Onana. Onana passes it to Lindelof. Lindelof passes it back to Onana, and then Onana tries to pass it down the middle, similar to what happened to David De Gea and Harry Maguire last year. Lindelof tries to pass it down the middle to Casemiro. Casemiro is further on ahead, it gets intercepted, and basically the Galatasaray are about to score their third goal, but Casemiro slides in, takes one for the team, and he's on a second yellow, so he gets sent off. It's worth noting that the referee had given Casemiro that yellow card in the first half for a high foot, which is very, very unfortunate. So I think Casemiro is very, very unfortunate to get sent off, one because he didn't really do any nasty fouls, two, the reason he was getting sent off was because he tackled the guy in the box, and yeah, it could have been a red card anyway, but he knew he was going to get sent off, I'm sure, and he took one for the team, and the penalty actually gets missed. So Nan doesn't see the penalty, but he's managed to put off the Galatasaray striker, who's a very good player called Icardi, and it goes wide at the left, so there's a bit of relief. But again, 5 minutes after that, Galatasaray go 3-2 up, and that's pretty much the story of the match. We pushed a bit more, and we tried to get that goal, and we threw on Anthony Martial, and he almost scored. But again, we're getting all these offsides. There's offsides happening, and Bruno Fernandes isn't playing. Like, people are giving Rashford grief. Like, I think we need to be pushing Fernandes a bit, and I think it's not that Fernandes has to do so much for the team, and there's just something not clicking with him. I think it's the whole team. Like, they're still yapping at each other. They haven't gelled yet. Like, Rashford and Højlund haven't gelled yet. Garnacho and everyone hasn't gelled yet. And I think Hannibal Medry's one of the best young ones in the team that can play with everyone. Same as Pellistri. It's whenever you bring that extra element of ego into it, I think, where people are second guessing whether they should pass or strike, there needs to be that glue and there needs to be that gel together where people, the front attacker, knowing when how to assist people, knowing when to score, and it's just not coming together as we'd want right now. But you know, there's going to be people calling for Ten Hag's job, and you know, that's the last thing we would need. I think after the amount of investment in the team and all the injuries that we've had, I think that's what I'm saying. The most positive thing out of the game is to say that those three players that we signed this year, Mount, Højlund and Amrabat, all played really well, and you can see how that football's going to play well. And for luck's just not playing our way. You know, there's some sort of metaphor going on where it's the past two games it's been absolutely lashing at Old Trafford, absolutely pissing it down, and it's sort of like, is this, you know, the universe talking to Man United, or is this like a sign or a metaphor about how the club is being right now? Anthony came back today for the first thing after the whole situation that's been on with him. You know, there's the whole thing with Jane, there's the whole thing with players. You know, this energy stems back to whenever Ollie was at the club, and whenever Ronaldo left with Ten Hag coming in, and not with Ragnick, and there's still that energy, and like a lot of it is the Glazers, like, and the whole thing about the club being sold. You know, there's the new owners that need to come in whether that be, you know, the Jim Ratcliffe, or whether that be the Sheikh Nassim or whatever, I'm not sure of his name, the Qatar company. But a lot needs to change internally and externally, and yeah, the players won't be in a good place right now. Like, it almost looks like we're not going to get through the Champions League. You know, we've got to win our next 3 games, which we should win anyway. Obviously Bayern Munich will be the hardest one, but you know, we've got to go to Istanbul or wherever Galatasaray play and get a win, which will be tough. And Copenhagen almost beat Bayern Munich tonight, but Bayern Munich actually came back and won. So, you know, it's going to be tough to actually get through to this Champions League, and you know, it'll be very sad if we don't get through. And the main thing is we got to start winning games. But I think that's everything for tonight. So the optimism once again is about, you know, the 3 players that we signed, the Ten Hag signed, have been performing. Onana hasn't been performing, and you know, ultimately it was Onana's fault for the Bayern Munich game, and ultimately it really was Onana's fault again tonight. So, but as much as it was Onana's fault for those things, like, you know, our attackers need to be scoring their goals and setting up goals, so it is a team issue, but we need to be doing better. So yeah, devastated that it's getting to this, but that's, like and subscribe and all that stuff, because I don't know if I want to make any more of these videos anymore, but you gotta represent. See you later, everyone. Bye bye.